April the 17th Picks edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at underdogfantasy.com, promo code MLB SGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. Welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Wednesday, April the 16th, and we are here to handicap the slate of 10 games for Thursday, April the 17th. Joining me, looking bright and breezy, possibly had a fresh haircut, I can't quite tell, from somewhere in New York is Mr. Dylan Rockford. D-Rock, how are you doing?
Oh, fresh as a blade, Malcolm. I got a haircut yesterday. I'm feeling good. Going away to Florida for Easter. So,
oh yes,
better times ahead. Let's just say that.
What are you going to do in Florida? Are you going to manage to catch any sport, or do you have to do family shit?
Family shit, but it's good to catch some sun, get away from everyone for, over here in the Northeast. It's just too much fucking commotion for me. So it's nice to get away for a little bit.
Commotion. Once in a blue moon, Dylan, you come out with the little word that absolutely slays me. Belligerent was my previous favourite.
Yeah.
But I'm all for a little bit of commotion, Dylan.
Yeah.
You might can tell I've got a bit of a spring in my step, Dylan, this evening. I have just returned from St James's Park, where I watched Newcastle United hump Crystal Palace 5-0. 4-0 at half-time it was. They're supposed to be good. It was meant to be a tight game. Everyone was a bit nervous. And what that does mean, Dylan, is that for the first time this season, Newcastle have gone above your beloved Nottingham Forest. Forest are very much, Dylan, shit in the bed in their quest for the Champions League places at the minute. So I hope they make it. But yeah, Newcastle have usurped them tonight. Newcastle look absolutely unbeatable currently. Sorry, I'm over the moon with that.
Yeah.
We left about my commitment to this show. We left about 6 minutes left in the game, so we could get home, beat the traffic, and get home for the podcast, which we've done. Enjoyed the Champions League tonight. Arsenal went through. Arsenal knocked out Real Madrid. Scored in the 94th minute to knock my unders, which was disappointing. There is one thing I want to ask you about, Dylan. You sent a little tweet on Monday, demonstrating how well your MLB players have done so far this season, and more power to you, Dylan. However, did you have to, at the bottom of the picture, have my record in there? And it was noticed as well. Joe Dollar, amongst other people, noticed it. You were perfectly happy to throw me under the bus, Dylan, in that spot. And I would like an explanation.
Yeah, so to be fair, let's address the elephant in the room. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think I was throwing anyone under the bus until Joe mentioned it. And I said, I could see how that looks. And then you mentioned it on the podcast. And I go, oh, he's mad at me. So I said, I love you, Mal. But I didn't realize what I was doing until after the fact. But I was throwing no shade to anyone. Just wanted to show how successful the whole podcast has been. Whether you listen to me, Mal, Scott, Lonte, we're all winning you some money. So, brighter days ahead, Mal. It's a long season, ebbs and flows.
I'll let that one slide. Next time, though, now you're aware of it, I fully expect you to
I'll crop you out. Or I'm good in Photoshop. I'll just post you in second place.
Oh, yeah, put the numbers up. I mean, you might not have to. I might pick some winners, Dylan. You never know. One of those things. It's turned around. And we had another episode of time traveling home runs last night. I gave out Tyler Soderstrom to hit a home run
He's
on
Wednesday
fire. Night. Yeah. And I woke up this morning to check the scores, and Sod's Law, he hit 2 home runs on Tuesday night. So right player, wrong day. It doesn't mean he's not going to go yard again tonight. I think the handicap stands. The Athletics at the White Sox. He's now the MLB home run leader, Tyler Soderstrom. A name that people might not have been too familiar with at the start of the season. So there you go. A little bit of day sport today. I haven't really caught up with it. I think I'm 2-2 Blue Jays lost.
No,
And the
Blue Jays
Cardinals
won.
overs went out. Sorry, my Blue Jays bet lost. Yeah, I
Oh,
took
okay.
Spencer Strider. But I took the Twins to beat the Mets. I took the Brewers first 5. And I've got the Padres who are currently winning. So 2-2 with 1 in front live.
The Mets
10
have
games
been.
tomorrow, like I said. I've got lines for 8 of them, Dylan. I haven't seen lines for the games at the Tampa Bay Rays and at the New York Mets. You might be able to help me out later in the episode, but plenty for us to get our teeth into, which we will do. Let me remind you, if you're looking for all of our picks and podcasts here on SGPN in one convenient place, you can download the free SGPN app wherever you get your apps. Dylan, are you getting involved in the New York Jets draft next week? Are you doing the live stream for the Jets?
No. When I looked on the Google Doc, it was all filled up for the Jets. Scott being number one,
No.
they all filled it up. No one hits me up. So I tried to get my name in there. You snooze, you lose, right? That's the name of the game.
You lose, yeah. Well, I noticed that the London Jags had no names next to it. So I messaged Barry. I said, should we put our names down to do the Jaguars next week? Bear in mind, we've got absolutely no fucking idea what we're talking about. And Barry said, yeah, I'm game if you are. So we're doing the Jags. And I did inform Sean that we would have absolutely zero insight. And Sean was perfectly happy with that. So, yeah, let it ride. We're doing the Jags for the NFL live draft next week. Thursday's games start early, 12:10 Eastern, first pitch, proper lunchtime game here between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Miami Marlins. Left-handed pitcher Eduardo Rodriguez for the D-backs, and it's Edward Cabrera. We have a Eduardo and an Edward going here. Miami are plus 155. The D-backs are minus 160. The total is sitting round about 8.5. Erod, pretty average results and also quite inconsistent. He hasn't had much luck, I'll give him that. His whip's okay. He hasn't given up any home runs. So not terrible stuff, just not enough to make you want to trust him. He struck out 12 at Washington in his only other road start this season. But just not great career against the Marlins either. Corbin Carroll is looking really hot for the Diamondbacks. He had a grand slam last night. He's unlocked some more power. Edward Cabrera got away with 3 walks in his in his only start so far this season. 10 home starts last season for Cabrera, rendered a 4.64 ERA. Not great against Arizona career as well. I looked at the total. I've got loads of totals tonight, Dylan. I've got a lot of totals on my card. The Diamondbacks are 9-2 to the over, first 5. Miami are 4-1 to the over against left-handed pitching. So the total's up there. The books are onto it, but I think we can see some runs, Dylan. So I'll take the over 8.5, please.
Yeah, it's either dog or pass for me in this one. I got him at plus 135 on the money line. The fish, even plus 1.5. I usually don't take the run line, but minus 128 isn't a bad price either. I only made the D-backs a minus 130 favorite here on the road. There's no way I could back Eduardo Rodriguez at this price. He's, in my opinion, he's been awful. 2+ runs given up in every start. Walks are up, and fish, they're pesty. You know, they're pretty good at home. They're hitting the ball well. They're hitting 281 against lefties. And I thought Cabrera wasn't bad in his first start. The bullpen, they blew the game for him. It wasn't his fault. So maybe first 5 you really want to look out, maybe eliminate the bullpens. But I think this is a good spot for the fish. I think they'll be able to get to Eduardo Rodriguez. I don't mind them at this price. So let's start it with a home puppy here.
Yeah, the Marlins in underdog spots have been quite live so far this season. We took Max Meyer tonight, a game that hasn't started, the Tuesday night game, the Wednesday night game, sorry. Myself and Lonte both like the look of Max Meyer in that one. And Dylan wants to get behind Edward Cabrera. Yeah, no problem with that at all, Dylan. 12:35 Eastern, first pitch is the Washington Nationals at the Pittsburgh Pirates, where Trevor Williams doors the start for the Nats, and left-handed pitcher Andrew Heaney We'll go for the Pirates. -125 favourites, Pittsburgh. +105, Washington. Total, you can get a 7.5 or an 8 if you want one. Dylan.
Yeah, we'll start with my totals now. That's a little chalky here, but I do like the over 7.5 at -130. I think it should close around to 8, but still like the over 8. My total came out to 8.3. Trevor Williams, he hasn't really looked good for the Nationals so far this season. 3+ runs given up in every start. He gives up the long ball. Home runs are an issue for him, and not to mention Nationals bullpen are just one of the worst in the league so far this season. The over extremely profitable for the Nationals, 8-2 toward the over in their last 10, including going over this number in 4 of the last 5, excuse me. And on the other hand, Andrew Heaney, he has been better, but he's prone to give up a few runs himself. I think we'll see some runs here. I'm not worried about how bad the offense has been for the Pirates. I think they'll be able to get a few runs here. So over 7.5, the number's a little too low.
Yeah, I've chosen the Pirates here, and it's not an easy thing to do. I wasn't very comfortable choosing Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a favourite because they're really, really not very good offensively. Taking them at -125 was tricky, but you've just spelled out the reasons why, and it's because Trevor Williams has been poor. Pittsburgh have been shut out in 2 of the last 3 games. James Wood is on fire for Washington. 5 home runs and 10 ribbies in his last 8 games. But it's at Williams' record, 3 games, 12 earned runs. Last time against Miami, he got smashed up. And I fear for him against decent opposition. A 177 whip for Williams tells you what you need to know. The other crucial thing I factored in here was Heaney's only home start this year. 10 strikeouts, 1 earned run through 7 innings against the Yankees. Now, that's a solid form line. So I'll take that form line, and I'll take Pittsburgh at -125 to beat Washington. Michael, who's joined us in the chat, had a little Chris Bassett strikeout ladder tonight. +580, all the way up to 10 strikeouts. Well played, Michael. Nice little pick on that one. Kept that to yourself last night, Michael, didn't you? Didn't tell the boys about that one. 12:40 Eastern first pitch is the Seattle Mariners at the Cincinnati Reds, where Brian Wu for Seattle will take on Brady Singer of the Reds. +105 underdogs at home, Cincinnati. The Mariners trade at -125, total 7.5 or 8. Brian Wu, 2 good home starts, but he's been poor on the road at San Francisco, and he was 3/4 of a run per game worse on the road last year. Brady Singer is pretty inconsistent. 3 in runs last time through 5 innings. He's had plenty of run support in his games, I notice, Singer, and I know that's not an exact science, but sometimes it's a trend that's worth following. 30 runs scored in 3 games started for the Reds. Lonte last night seemed to think that the Reds' offense was heating up. Both pitchers look vulnerable, so I think there's runs about here. That 7.5 is good. I'll be taking the over 7.5. Dylan, please.
Yeah, I would agree. I like the over 7.5. Even 8s. I see 8s out there. My total came out to 8.6. I love the over. I'm going to take the home puppy again. Reds +110. I think the wrong team is favorite. My numbers made them a -130 favorite. So happily take this plus price here with the better team, in my opinion. Reds rolling right now. They've won 4 straight, 7-3 in their last 10. And I kind of would agree with Lonte. I do think their bats are heating up. Mariners, yeah, small sample size, but they are 0-4 straight up on the road this season. And you mentioned it, Brandon Wu has been good, but his 1 start on the road was not good for the Mariners. And last year, he wasn't really that good either. He gave up 4 runs on 5 hits, and the Mariners lost that game. He walks batters. I got to take the hotter team at plus money. I don't mind Brady Singer either. The Reds have the better bullpen. So even when he's out of the game, I think they'll be able to lock it down. So let's just keep riding the hotter team. I'm going to take the Reds here.
Okay, like it, Dylan. Edge Boost have got you covered for all sorts of things. If you've ever had your deposit blocked by your bank, you need cash at 2 a.m., you think ATM limit, Edge Boost has got your back. It's the first ever bank account built for bettors. Edge Boost gives you fast, reliable access to your funds. You can move up to $250,000 per day. Works 24/7 for instant deposits. Edge Boost is a debit account that makes it easy to get started. No credit checks. Verify your identity and you're ready to go. Tons of responsible gambling tools as well. Go to www.edgeboost.bet. Use the promo code SGPN. That's www.edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. Sign up for Edge Boost today. And we're brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA playoffs. You've got props for every game. Loads of locations accessible. Really quick deposits and payouts using crypto. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Next game up is a 2:10 Eastern first pitch between the Athletics and the Chicago White Sox. Left-handed pitcher J.P. Sears starts for the A's. For the White Sox, it will be Davis Martin. Plus 130, the White Sox. Minus 155, the Athletics. Total 7.5 or 8, Dylan.
Yeah, I'm going to take a stab here. A little half a unit play, a little pizza bet. I'll take the A's minus 1.5 at plus 115. Athletics been okay on the road this season. 5-3 straight up. They're hitting the ball pretty well. Top 10 in batting average, top 5 in home runs. They don't strike out. And you mentioned it at the top of the show, the kid Tyler Soderstrom. He is a beast. I want no parts of the White Sox right now. They're hitting under 200 against lefties. I think this could be a really good spot for JP Sears. I just don't see how they could produce runs to keep up with the A's right now. So minus 148 is not a bad play if you want to lay the chalk on the road, but plus 115, I'll happily take the run line against the White Sox.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the system playing it. Back unit and a half on the A's. Plus 115 run line. But I don't mind having a little double on the White Sox first 5 here. JP Sears is steady Eddie, 3.32 ERA in his 3 games started. Oddly, he does have a really poor record at the White Sox. 1-3 with a 7.29 ERA isn't too promising. Davis Martin has had 2 really good starts at home. That's kind of the fly in the ointment here. Both have been spot on. 6 innings scoreless against the Angels. And then more impressively, 6 innings, 1 earned run against Boston. So if you can repeat that, then they're absolutely live here. The White Sox are 2-2-1, first 5 against lefties. So I'm going to give them a chance here to back Martin up. They probably will end up losing, but they could just get the noses in front through 5 innings. So I'll take the White Sox first 5. And next up, what time is this? 4:05 Eastern first pitch. The San Francisco Giants at the Philadelphia Phillies. Jordan Hicks will draw the start for San Francisco. Taking the ball for Philadelphia is left-handed pitcher Christopher Sanchez. Phillies are minus 165. The Giants plus 140. Totals, I'm seeing 7.5. I'm seeing 8s as well. Jordan Hicks got hit around last time against the New York Yankees. He's had 3 starts, 1 good, 1 average, and 1 bad. So not really sure what we're going to get here. 3-1 with a 2.81 career ERA against the Phillies. The Dodgers got to Sanchez on his 2nd start, but either side of that, he's been really good, and I like him a lot. The Philly bats to me looked last night like they were waking up a little bit, and it was the key men. It was JT Realmuto had his first homer. Bryce Harper was, I think he went yard as well. Bryson Stott, or maybe Harper just had a couple of hits. Bryson Stott, they were all heating up a little bit. Sanchez has had 3 wins, and he's covered the handicap in all 3. Now, you might be asking why that is. The Dodgers, they beat the Dodgers by 1 run, but he was an underdog, so he actually covered the 1.5 handicap, and that's where I'm going to go here. I do think that combination of Sanchez going and what I saw out the Philly bats last night, I'm going to take a Philly run line here, Dylan, go a little bit a little bit extravagant. I think Philly can give them a bit of a beating.
Yeah, I'm going to take a total here. I'm going to take either. Actually, it went the other way. I think the total opened up at 8. It's come down to 7.5. And to be honest, Mal, I don't really agree with the line movement. I'm going to take the over 8, 7.5. I see 8's at minus 105. It's a better number. I would rather lay that than the 7.5 at minus 120. My total came out to 8.6. The Giants have been one of the most profitable teams towards the over this season. 12-5 toward the over on the year, 9-2 on the road towards the over. They've gone over this number in 5 straight. 7.5 is just too low for these two offenses. Sanchez wasn't good in his first start at home versus the Dodgers. And the Giants, I feel like, are a very comparable hitting team to the Dodgers right now. So Jordan Hicks, you mentioned he didn't look good against the Yankees in his last start. Hasn't actually looked good in back-to-back starts for the Giants. So I agree. I think the Phillies are the play here on the side, but I do think both teams will be able to score some runs here. The bats will get going for both offenses. So I'm going to take another over. I mean, let's just keep cashing these overs.
Yeah, runs everywhere, Dylan. Nice and positive. Keep it going. 6:35 Eastern first pitch is the Cleveland Guardians at the Baltimore Orioles. Tanner Bybee goes for Cleveland, and it is Tomoyuki Sugano for the Orioles. Even money Baltimore, a minus 120. Cleveland, total is at 8.5. Dylan, I think the fact with two sort of mid-rotation pitchers on the mound, the fact that Cleveland are going off favourites here tells you just how much Baltimore is struggling so far this season. How do you see this one?
And I think it continues here. I'm going to take the Guardians here, minus 120. I got a minus 112 a little earlier. Shop around. I see a minus 112 at FanDuel. I'll take that. My numbers made them a minus 130 favorite. I want no parts in back in the Orioles right now. They're not playing well in general. 1-4 in their last 5 at home. They're just 2-4 straight up. And by the way, they got to stop messing with the left field fence. They always move it back, then they move it forward. Leave it the hell alone. Stop fucking with things, in my opinion. Anyway, their offense, I feel like from beginning of the season has really gone away. Their bullpen doesn't look good. If you need me to take a shot on Baltimore right now, I need a way better price than a minus 104 even money. I need a much better price. And I think Tanner Bybee has been solid so far. Only one poor start. And surprisingly, we mentioned the Reds bats have come alive. The Guardians bats have come alive as well. They hit better on the road. They've been able to score 6+ runs in 4 of the last 5 games. So I think that they have the better pitcher, I think. And I think they have the better overall team. So this is a no-brainer for me. I got to take the Guardians here, minus 112.
Yeah, I agree with you on the side. I am going to take the total, but I would take Cleveland over the 2. I saw the Baltimore GM interviewed today, and he looks twitchy. He was like a frog in a blender. This strange things are afoot in Baltimore. Didn't fancy them coming into the season. The rotation is crippled at the moment with injury, and Sugano has had relatively short starts. The results have been okay. 157 whip is a concern. And Tanner Bybee, he got blown up against the Angels. We had 2 really good starts either side of that against Kansas City. Would like to see it again. But then you add in everything you've just said about Cleveland. I prefer Cleveland. But I'm going to take a total. Bybee is 3-0 to the over. Baltimore at 10-2 to the first 5 over. So I'm just happy with those trends. I prefer Cleveland, but I'm happy to take those trends. They're pointing me towards totals very similar to the picks we gave out for the Tuesday game. I'll take the over 8.5 between Cleveland and Baltimore. We'll move on once I've let you know about Underdog Pick'em. You can play any sport, win up to 100 times your money. Our promo code here is MLB SGPN. That'll get you a special pick and a first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MLB SGPN. And Rhythm, your home for AI-backed picks and props. And finally, Rhythm is now live for Major League Baseball. A great thing to go and get involved with there. They've got models for NBA and golf as well. And some really good deals going on at the minute with Rhythm. 25% off a monthly subscription with the promo code SGPN25, and 50% off an annual subscription with the promo code SGPN50. That's RITHMN, promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. Next game up is a 6:40 Eastern first pitch between the Kansas City Royals and the Detroit Tigers. Michael Lorenzen for the Royals will take on Reese Olson of the Tigers, -135 Detroit, +115 Kansas City, total 7.5/8. Michael Lorenzen has been okay. Sorry, I've lost my thread there. Pretty steady, Lorenzen. Not as good on the road last season or in the early going this season. We handicapped results yesterday, myself and Lonte, and the general feeling was 3 average starts in 3 high-scoring games. The Tigers, 4.7 runs per game, which is good. I'm not hugely keen on Olsen. I'm not hugely keen on the Kansas City Royals pen either. They're very capable of blowing a save, the Royals bullpen. It's another total. It looks low again. I'm going to go over. I'll be taking over 7.5, Dylan.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a side in this one. I'm going to take the Tigers here at home, -135. My numbers made them a -150 favorite. I know Reese Olson really hasn't looked that impressive, but this is kind of more of a fade on Michael Lorenzen, who, in my opinion, I don't think he's been okay. I don't think he's looked good this season, especially on the road. 3+ runs given up in 2 starts. Home runs can be an issue. Home runs given up in each start. Walks are a problem. I'm coming back home, I think, is going to help this Detroit team. They're 5-1 straight up at home, while the Royals are kind of a fade on the road. 2-6 straight up. They've lost 4 of their last 5 on the road. Runs have been tough to come by for them as well. They're hitting 187 away from home. I think the Tigers, they're a better team. I think coming back home will help. It was a long road trip for them. They lost again today. I think coming back home is really going to help them. I think they are the right side. -135. I'll take the Tigers.
Yeah, okay. I like Vinny Pasquantino's been in good form, and Bobby Witt. Just the more you watch Bobby Witt, the better and better he gets. Like, he's been absolutely outstanding. Next game up is where are we going? This is a right old weird game to handicap for reasons I'll explain in a moment. The 7:05 Eastern first pitch between the New York Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays. Will Warren will draw the start for the Yankees. For the Rays, it will be Taj Bradley. Now, this is a game I've seen no lines at all on. Dylan, have you seen any lines? Or if not, could you give me the Rockford lines?
Yeah, so I think lines just came out for it. Oh no. I'm looking at a different game. Let me check real quick. No lines have come out, but I do have lines. I do think it is Taj Bradley and Will Warren. I made the Rays a -150 favorite, -1.5. You get it at +150. Total, I made it 9.4. So I do think we'll see some runs here, but I'm gonna, like I said, depending on my numbers, I'm gonna take the Rays here. I think they're the right side. Maybe first 5. Todd Bradley, I think, is just much better pitcher than Will Warren. It's more of a fade on him. He's given up 2+ runs in all 3 starts. Walks are high. And to be honest, I'm not used to it, but Rays are actually a pretty good hitting team. They're hitting 289 on the season versus righties. They're profitable at home. They're 8-6 straight up at home, while the Yankees, they're just mediocre, 3-3 straight up on the road this season. So depending on what number, I think we might get a good number here with the Tampa Bay Rays. So anything under a 150, I'd probably be on the Rays.
Yeah, you're right to mention the Rays are a decent hitting team. I wanted to mention Jonathan Aranda, not a name that gets too much press, but I think he leads MLB in OPS currently. Jonathan Aranda, he's been great. So the odd thing about this is, it's in Steinbrenner Stadium. So obviously you've got the Yankees playing away from home in an exact copy of their home stadium, away from home in the sun. So it's like some sort of bizarro Yankees home away in the sunshine situation. So I think everyone should feel pretty comfortable in this stadium. And we talked last night about the runs angle and how this stadium in the sunshine is starting to play like a little league ballpark. The stats for the 4 games against Atlanta over the weekend were 10.25 runs per game. Since then, we've had another game which was against Boston, and there was 11 runs in that one. So we're getting over there. If the total was 9.5 for Tuesday, if it is 9.5 again, that's where I'll be going. Warren's okay, but I don't really want to trust him. 2 defeats in 3. All 3 have gone over. His only road start, he gave up 4 earned at Pittsburgh, so he looks vulnerable. Bradley's been really good. 2 home starts, both wins, 7 strikeouts, all 3 starts for Bradley. So if you can find a 6.5, you might want to get involved there. So I do prefer the Tampa Bay Rays, but both teams at home in this weird situation. I just like runs. I think both teams can take advantage. We'll see a shootout here. And we'll be hoping we need to get in front of these trends because it might not last very long. If the Rays home ballpark is going to play like this, then we'll take the over. Hopefully, we can find a 9.5, and we can get over that one. Okay, yeah, Michael's co-signing that in the chat as well. The chat's quiet, by the way, everybody. There are people lurking around. So if you want to give us a pick, by all means, say hello in there. The penultimate game on the card is the second game I've got no lines from, and I don't really know why, because I've seen pictures all day here. I know why. They've just changed the fucking picture. This happened to me the other day.
I don't know if it is gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be Griffin Canning though. I don't know. It's either gonna be David Peterson or Griffin Canning.
Yeah. Well, I initially had Peterson, and I've literally just refreshed it and saw Griffin Canning. The game's 7:10 Eastern. It is the St. Louis Cardinals at the New York Mets. Andrea Palante for the Cardinals, and now officially, officially as official it can be, Griffin Canning going for the Cardinals. Doesn't really affect my handicap here because I wanted to take the Cardinals. If you remember, Andrea Palante is the page that always pops open. When I open my stat news for the first time ever, I didn't have to go searching for somebody because Andrea Palante, it was just there for me. So that saved me 2 clicks of him out. And he's been surprisingly good. He's doing this transition thing from bullpen to starting pitcher, where he traditionally was previously. 7 scoreless against the Phillies. He held Boston and the Twins to 2 earned runs apiece. It looks like he's taking a step forward. Palante. Griffin Canning just looks vulnerable. And I like the Cardinals' offense. Again, Lonte made great cases last night. They're hitting really well, and they're hitting left-handed pitching really well, which was the handicap for Peterson. But equally, I've got no problem with them taking on Canning either. Juan Soto looks like he may just be finding his feet. He had a little moan the other day about getting pitched to differently. But home runs on back-to-back nights now for Juan Soto. But I think the Cardinals can get one here. I'll take the Cardinals on the road, Dylan.
Yeah, I'll address that real quick, the Juan Soto thing, because he did go 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts today. I mean, we played awful today. It's just the small ball was bad. We left so many runners on base. There was no business for us to be even in the game. I would agree. I don't think it's a lot of people came out and didn't like his comment about him getting pitched differently, but it's true. I mean, Aaron Judge gets pitched differently too, and why wouldn't you? These are like the best hitters in the game, so I don't know if it would be deflecting, but I read that a lot of journalists and a lot of the media didn't like his answer. So I wanted to address that real quick. But regardless of who's going, David Peterson or Griffin Canning for the Mets, I still favor them at home. Mets are a bet on team at home, 5-1 straight up, while the Cardinals, they're 1-5 away from St. Louis. So yes, Andre Pla has been good, but he doesn't really go long on the road. Only 1 start, but he went only 4 1/3. The bullpen's not the best. Yes, Mets aren't really the best hitting team, and they are. So I do like runs. Maybe team total over for the Cardinals. I think maybe they could score some runs. but I don't think the Mets lose 3 in a row. The first time they lost back-to-back games all season was today. I don't think they lose 3 in a row here. I think coming back home is going to help this team. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Mets depending on what the number is.
Okay, so a little bit of a crossfire in that one. One more game on the card here is back to the bottom of the page, 8:05 Eastern, first pitch between the LA Angels and the Texas Rangers. For the Halos, it will be Jack Kokanovich, and for Texas, it is Kumar Rocker. Texas minus 135, the Angels plus 115, and the total is 9.5. Dylan, finish us off with a winner, please.
Yeah, let's end it with the total. I see some 10s out there, and we're going to dive under at minus 112, even at 9.5. The number is just way too high, in my opinion. My total came out to 8.6. I get it. Kumar Rocker hasn't looked good or the best to his potential, but at home, he was great. Only 1 run given up against a really good hitting team, like we just discussed against the Tampa Bay Rays. That game finished with just 7 runs, and as good as the Angels bats have been to start the season, they're just hitting 217 on the road. Rangers, they're also really not a good hitting team as well. I think this could be a good bounce back spot as well on the other side for Jack. Rangers hitting just 206 off of righties this year. Plus, under is 7-1 at home for the Rangers this year. 10 is just too high for me. So yeah, I'm gonna dive under.
Kikanovich gave up 6 earned runs last time at Houston. He's walked 3 batters in each of his last 2 starts. And the totals of those 2 games were 17 and 14. And I think, Dylan, I am out on Kumar Rocker. He looks nervous. He looks hittable. He's got a 194 whip. Texas did snap a little skid with a win on Tuesday, but I still don't particularly trust them. The biggest pull for me here is to fade both pitchers. First 5, though, I'm going to go with the first 5 over. So maybe we could find a way where we both catch. But yeah, Kaganovich looks very vulnerable, and I'm just not sure about Kumar Rocker's state. It seems to be a bit of a crossroads for me. So that will be first 5 over. Dylan, we've done it. A 10-game card in the books. Do you have a lock and a dog with for us, please?
Yeah, I gave out a lot of plus money tonight. I wanted to see which one I like the best here. I could go A's minus 1.5, but I'm gonna go Reds. I think the home puppy here with the Reds. I don't mind Brady Singer. Brandon Woo's just a much different pitcher on the road than he is at home. Getting the better team who the bats are heating up. I'm gonna take the Reds here. I think the home puppy is. I think the wrong team is favored actually. So plus 110. Give me the Reds as my dog, as my lock. I was gonna take a total. You mentioned you like the total. I can't get away from this over 7.5. I can't believe it went down to 7.5. 7.5, 8, whatever you could get in this Giants and Phillies game. I'm gonna take the over as my lock. I just think we're gonna see runs. Like I said, 5 straight overs for this Giants team. 9-2 on the road for overs. Jordan Hicks is very hittable. Phillies offense got going last night. I think we're gonna see a lot of runs in this game. So yeah, let's make it 6 straight. Yeah, give me the over 8.5.
Okay. I'm gonna go straight back to that last pick that I made in the Angels versus Rangers game and stick with the first 5 over is my lock. I just don't want either pitcher. I'm not buying into either of those. And the total isn't prohibitive. So first 5 over in the Angels and Rangers. And my dog, honestly, I didn't have much money line stuff tonight. There was a lot of totals, a lot of numbers. So I'm going to take that White Sox first 5. The 2 home starts from Davis Martin, you can't pick holes in them. You can't. 6 scoreless against the Angels, 6 1 earned run against Boston. So if you can repeat that for a 3rd time, that puts them very much in the frame to get their noses in front. And JPC has been a little bit dodgy at the White Sox in the past. Dylan, have you got a home run play for us? And remember, we need to get it on the right night, not the wrong night.
Yeah.
Not one night too soon or one night too late. I think we talked Vladdy into a home run yesterday. Myself and Lonte commented that Vladdy had gone 26 games without a dinger. He managed to get his first one last night. JT Real Muto got his first one. So, where are you going to go to find us a dinger, Dylan?
Yeah, let's go back to that game. I mean, a cop-out answer. I could take the guy for Tyler from the Athletics, but I'm gonna go in that game where I think we're gonna see runs in San Francisco and Philadelphia. I'm gonna take my boy, the old Met, William Flores. I mean, he's right there in the league, leader to 4 home runs, and he hasn't had a home run in a few days. But against Christopher Sanchez, I do think he's due. Hits lefties pretty well. I think this is a good spot for William Flores. I'll take him to hit a home run.
Wilmer Flores, I checked one of my Pete Alonso futures for most ribbies because I was been going along okay. So I checked the table today, and Pete Alonso is sitting in second place, which is good at 18-1. But he's sitting behind Wilmer Flores. I could have had 100 guesses at who was at the top of that table, and I would never have guessed Wilmer Flores. Wilmer Flores ended up on every fantasy baseball team I've ever picked for 7 years. I don't know why. I was just abjectly drawn to him. I'm going to fade Trevor Williams tomorrow for Washington. I'm going to take a Pittsburgh Pirate to hit a home run. I just don't know which one to take. Let's have a go at. I mean, the obvious one is O'Neill Cruz. What about? I got it, Dylan. Tommy Pham.
Oh, wow.
Is the answer. We'll stick with the old guys. If you're going Wilmer Flores, I'll go Tommy Pham. How old's Tommy Pham now? He must got to be about my age, hasn't he? 37. Wish I was 37. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll go with the old guys. Old guy Wednesday. Thursday, sorry.
I love it.
Old guy Thursday, Flores and Tommy Pham. Dylan, do you have anything else you want to tell the people before we let them go?
No, we'll be back tomorrow, same time and place. And hopefully we have a good rest of the Wednesday. Hopefully we win some bets. And by the way, NBA play-in, you a big NBA guy or no?
Absolutely not. I did ask Lonte about this last night because I know nothing about it. He said some stuff that didn't make any sense to me. But feel free to say some more stuff and I'll try and wrap my head around it.
No, just Bulls money line tonight. That's my lock of the night. Bulls money line.
Oh, actually, I'm going to say something out loud here. Pistons in 6.
Don't do that. I'm a Knick fan.
No?
We're gonna smoke them. Come on.
I think I heard someone on the telly say it earlier on, so I'm just repeating something that's stuck in my. I don't even know what it means. Yeah, Detroit Pistons. That is, and they'll win in 6 games. Pistons in 6. Write that down. Our total genius play for today hasn't gone. It was Riley. Riley Shantz picked the over in Cleveland, Baltimore for Wednesday night. So should Riley win, he will move on to game number 2 tomorrow. So good luck, Riley. Thanks everyone for joining us. Good luck with all your picks. Thank you very much, Dylan. Appreciate it. And we will see you all down the road. Cheers.